6 dudes and a 6-pack. Big, bold, beyond, and completely full of themselves.
Welcome back, you guys. 6 dudes and a 6-pack. Hanging out with Mr. Cheese, Mr. Rhino, and of course, Trey himself. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. What's up, Rhino?
Sitting here enjoying my pepper jack cheese stick. Woo!
See that. Did you have that flown in from Wisconsin or what?
I have no idea. I don't care. It's delicious.
Well, that's all that matters. That's all that matters, my man.
So one thing I stopped doing a long time ago
What's that?
was worrying about spending a couple extra pennies on food. It's food, man. Like, buy the good stuff. Don't apologize to yourself for it. Don't get me wrong. You're trying to, you're on a budget, trying to support a family and yada, yada. That's fine. I'm not saying I'm eating filet mignon every night or anything, but
Of course.
I'm saying when it comes to your meals, fix them yourself and you can go a long way. You can make a hell of a good meal. And, if you're in a store and beef costs an extra 50 cents a pound there, we don't have to stock up for the whole month, right? You don't have to stock up for the whole month while you're there, but get what you need while you're there instead of running across town to try to save 50 cents. Your time is more valuable than that. Get your ass home, make yourself something awesome with that little extra money you spend on the beef.
Exactly. No, I agree totally. And that's the thing when me and Mrs. Stray, we go out and we're getting meat, we're getting it for that meal for that day. We don't like to stock up, where you buy pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of it and you just load your freezer up. I get if you buy a little bit more and you got to freeze some of it. But man, when you got a whole big long freezer full of that stuff and half of it looks like it's covered under snow because it's so freezer burnt, it's like, what are you really accomplishing by doing that? And it's not going to taste good.
Well, I got a solution for you on that too.
What's that?
You pull your meat out, you run it under a cold tap for just a moment, just enough to get those ice crystals off of there. Should take away that freezer burnt taste. Now, I'm not saying if it wasn't packaged properly, you're not still going to taste funny shit that ain't supposed to be there, because that might still happen. But if it is just an ice/freezer burn problem, then that will usually take that away. The problem is the problem really is created when you take and allow that meat to thaw out with that ice on it. Now, if you can knock it off there with a cold tap, you're usually in business. You can usually save your meal.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. We just, we're not big into eating. We like good variety of things, and we do not like leftovers whatsoever. Doesn't matter what it is, man. Even if it's, Gearhards around the corner, even if you went there and maybe something happened, you couldn't get to it the next day. And it's just sitting and it gets wasted. We just try and buy enough for us to eat a meal and move on to the next, man.
I'll tell you what, man, there's no way you fit in back home anymore. There's no freaking way.
No, I never
did. The people
did.
you grew up with do not think that way.
I don't know, man. I don't know, bro.
That's the thing, man. There are some things that are worth it. That bacon was just as gross as anything that I would have said, nah, and discarded it. I guarantee you, if that was lettuce that fell on the floor, it's in the trash.
Yeah.
All right. If I drop my apple on the floor, nope, trash. I'll get a new apple. That's fine. But that was bacon. I ain't wasting bacon. There's a little piggy that died for me to savor its goodness. Thank you, piggy. It was awesome.
I like bacon a lot too. But
yeah.
I don't go that route with it, man.
Man, even continental breakfast bacon from a hotel was good yesterday. It's actually the only thing that is really good. So the rest of it's okay or worse.
Oh, no, I totally get you. Any place, when you see continental breakfast and you see things other than like muffins and this juice machine, it looks like it's fucking shit and juice from 1984. I don't know what else they got. Oh, waffle maker that they fucking clean and it's nasty. But you go to a place, man, where you can get some scrambled eggs and some bacon and a biscuit with some gravy. I am gonna eat and eat and eat. I might not eat the rest of the day. And I know when those happen, that's a lucky day. That is a good day for a good day, man. If they're gonna give you included bacon and you can go up and get as much as you want. Like, man, what time are y'all open? 6 a.m. All right, what time y'all close? All right, 11 a.m. All right, be down there at 5:45.
I feel you, man. So I got something to ask you, Trey. So, this podcast thing is like a whole new genre of entertainment, right? People enjoy watching other people sit around and talk nonsense about nothing. Or maybe some podcasts are very specific to certain things, right? This podcast is obviously very specific to absolutely nothing. And I'm hoping that some people find this entertaining for the duration. And hopefully it's one of those things where they're like, well, I just don't know what the hell they're going to say. So I just keep tuning in and see it. They're not all winners, but
that's why you tuned in, ladies and gentlemen. 6 pack. You don't know what you're going to get from us. So keep watching.
And I'll be the first to say, if you dig it, awesome. If you don't, move on to something else. What I can't understand, though, there's a genre of people out there who enjoy watching other people play video games. They watch videos of other people play video games. So there's the little screen up here. It's got the dude in it. The dude's face is in this little screen here.
Who the fuck are you, man?
Little dude in the corner of the screen. And then down here is the video game itself, right? Being played. So you're watching dude traipse through the jungle or World of Warcraft where they're just building shit and casting spells on each other and trying to find fairies in the jungle. I don't know what the hell they're doing. But you're watching people play a video game. How the hell is that entertaining?
To me, it's
not. Anything?
Apparently to kids it is. I have no idea why. Because kind of the point that you're getting at, they don't teach you the tricks of the trade. They don't teach you how to beat level 7, Mr. Oofadoomf, how to take him down. They don't do any of that. They sit there and play the game. And they're good at it, yeah, but doesn't mean that, little Johnny sitting at home on his YouTube that's watching it, he's now going to be a, whoop-de-doo champion or something like that. No, he's still going to suck. It's like, Johnny, you're wasting time. You're not looking at anything fun, man.
Yeah, I guess that's a point too. It's not like, like I'm not going to go out and watch a Pee Wee football game, right? But I'll watch the NFL. I'll watch college ball. Hell, I'll watch very minor college ball. It doesn't matter. That's kind of entertaining. And I do not mind on occasion going out and watching a couple of good high school teams playing each other. Sure. I used to do that. A buddy of mine went to North Canton in Ohio, and they're traditionally a pretty darn good team. And I've gone out to a few games with those guys over the years. And I don't mind it. But I'm not going to watch Pee Wee football. I'm definitely not going to watch 6-year-olds run around and play soccer. So why am I taking my chances on watching some goofball from Missouri playing some damn video game that I couldn't care less about? And again, this is probably one of those things where you got to care about the video game to begin with. Maybe. I don't know if that's the way it works.
But you would think, though, if you care about the video game, go buy the fucking thing and learn how to play it yourself.
Right. I would much rather play a game myself.
That's the whole point, man. To me, that's the whole point. Why, if you're that infatuated with just watching a video game, and maybe you don't even own that game, own that system, nothing, you sit around and play it, makes me think that these kids either don't have the machine, can't afford the machine, hang out with kids at school, and you know how kids are, man. All they do is talk video games, little boys nowadays. They ain't talking about who wants to go fishing or go ride bikes. They're talking about games and stuff.
I don't think there aren't kids out there that still enjoy fishing and riding bikes. I think we're talking about kids that don't or might not, or this is one thing that they do that we don't understand. So
Right.
without trying to wax on or pass judgment on kids for what they are into, I'm just saying this is one little thing that I don't get.
No, and that, like I said, that's what kind of brings me to my point about the whole thing is there are probably kids out there, because a lot of, underprivileged kids, they actually get access, especially nowadays with the COVID and everything. They get access to laptops and stuff like that for their virtual learning. And, maybe they're just unfortunate enough to not have the money to get that game or get that system, but all their buddies do. And maybe that's their only outlet into why they watch it. I don't know if that's the case, but I do know that there are some lazy motherfuckers out there that own the damn game, just want to watch.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a good point. That hadn't occurred to me. That maybe they want to be able to stay up on the conversation about this stuff, or maybe they are looking for pointers. They're looking for how other people beat certain levels. Look, I mean, I use the internet for a tool all the time, or as a tool all the time. If I don't know how to do something, even before I go out and change a freaking light bulb in one of my newer vehicles, or a vehicle I've never changed a light bulb in, I'll watch a YouTube about it. Just see what some other dude went through, because there's usually somebody who's very informative and shows you what clips you need to undo and so forth. And some of these are not easy to do. Like you try to change a light bulb out in a 2008 Honda Accord. I know from personal experience that sucks, right? Like you have to go in and turn the steering wheel a certain way to get the tire out of your way so that you can pop those little clips on the inside of the fender wall and peel that damn cover back. And it is a stiff plastic cover. You got to peel that sucker back and then scrape your entire arm all the way in to try and maneuver this stupid clip out of there. And once you finally get the light bulb out, which is very difficult to get two hands in it, once you do finally get the light bulb out, now you got to get one in there, genius. And then you got to find the clip has to find its way back in a certain way so you can, dude, it's a pain in the ass. So yeah, if they're using YouTube as a tool to figure out how to beat certain levels or see how guys approach a certain level in a video game, I could totally be into that. I could totally understand that they're watching that. But I swear I had a buddy of mine that I very much love. He makes movies with us, and he's a great cameraman and director. Got a wonderful eye. Uh, he was going home and making videos of himself playing a game that he doesn't always play. Like he's just making videos, and other people watch him play the game. I don't think he had any like tricks of the trade. Like this is how I beat level 3. So I don't know. And there's probably subgenres. There's the people that watch video games of people playing they watch videos of people playing video games in general. And then there's some that are using it as a tool, some that are using it just for entertainment, other ones. I'm sure there are subgenres of subgenres like there is with everything else.
Yeah. I tell you, I used to be a big gamer till probably my mid-30s when I first really turned it over to coaching full time. So probably 33 actually.
What was your favorite game?
Probably NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't matter. Each year they got a little bit better. I'd skip a year, but
Was it Sega?
Huh?
Sega?
Oh no, I'm talking about the new stuff. You're talking old school?
Yeah. I was thinking the mid '90s stuff.
Mid 90s.
We used to get the NHL games where they didn't look great. Remember Swingers, the movie Swingers? They were playing the NHL game in there. I think it might have been Sega. I'm not positive. It was that or Nintendo, I think. And he's like, "Watch, I'm going to make Wayne's head bleed." I don't remember ever having the hockey game that did that. But for the most part, we would just turn off penalties and just beat the shit out of each other playing the hockey games. That was fun. We'd turn off penalties and two-line passing. Which is funny because the NHL turned off two-line passing penalties eventually.
Wow.
So
now,
yeah,
I would have to say, if you're saying mid '90s, it would have had to be Madden for me at least.
Mm.
'90s, that is. Now, if you want
Yeah.
to go back into the '80s and you're talking going into like actual video arcades, I go on and on for days about that. But now, mid '90s, it was pretty much Nintendo's what you had. Sega didn't really. Well, you had Sega Genesis.
And Sega Saturn.
Uh, that was more like late '90s, wasn't it?
That might have been. I mean, I'm not getting specific into the years. I'm just saying, video games passed me by somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah.
In the early 90s, I was active duty, and that's the Mortal Kombat days.
Mhm.
Used to love going to my buddy Matt's house and playing Mortal Kombat. In fact, Matt is from Chicago originally. I met him in North Dakota when he was up there. He was a truck driver. And then he's been back in Chicago for years. And I really want to get up there and see him and you and a bunch of people for that matter. But he's a phenomenal drummer. But the point is, we used to sit around at his house and just play video games. It might be why he got divorced the first time. I don't know. But we had a great time with Mortal Kombat, man. That was absolutely a favorite. And then we got a PlayStation when I was in Wisconsin. Holy crap, man! I loved playing Twisted Metal 2. For my money, that's still the best one of that whole series.
Yeah, I hear you. If I had to go back and because I've actually been looking at, I'd like to have since I'm pretty much grounded on my first floor here, trying to make room into a studio, but also make it into a fun room as well. And I'm gonna look at getting an '80s model, actual stand-up arcade machine. I decide on which one I want, man, because there's so many.
What about getting you one of those that you can play a whole bunch of different games on it?
I want the real deal, though.
I understand, but why wouldn't you get both? Now you get one where you have a ton of games on it, and then you get a Ms. Pac-Man to stand next to it.
Yeah, I just want the original. Now, I've seen the ones with the platforms and stuff on them, but it's more of a nostalgia thing to me.
I get it. My problem is if I bought it for nostalgia's sake, it would probably just sit there most of the time after I beat the shit out of it, because what am I going to do with this, having the same game there all the time? I don't know that I would really enjoy having one game. That's one marriage at a time is enough for me. I enjoy one human being that you come home to, and it's that there's that stability there. But with video games, I want variety, man.
Yeah. I have no idea what I even just said. Sometimes I have memory problems and I just speak without knowing what I'm talking about. But I might be.
You can always edit that out too.
I'm not going to, but I might.
But even if you don't, that's okay, because he would obviously never do anything unless it was fully licensed and approved.
Exactly. And it was 100%.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to the next.
Oh man. So when I tell somebody I'm going to be somewhere, I'm there, and I don't subscribe to the theory that if you're not 15 minutes early or late. I hate that bullshit. It's great for young people to start getting in that habit to be early, but no, I just be there, man. You said you were going to be here.
Yeah. Just be ready to step on the field when we're going.
Yeah. Okay. Look, emergencies happen, but don't tell me that, you've freaked out because your kid needed to, it's your day to bring cookies to school the next day or something, and you didn't have them made. We should have made them 2 days ago. I don't give a shit. Put them in the freezer. Or you stop by Walmart and Target or whatever, grab some damn cookies for your kid. Who cares? Yeah. They're kids. They'll eat sugar. It doesn't make any difference. You committed to be here. Bring your ass here.
Yeah. It happens a lot too, man, because it's like people are, you come up with an idea, and it could be sports, but it could be anything in life, man. Come up with an idea, and you get people that you're kind of counting on because they're like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. And I'm the kind of guy, if I put my mind to it, it's physically limited on what I do now. But if anything, it's allowed me to kind of start doing things like this. This whole new realm for me, bro. never done anything like this. But I
That's the thing is that, if we're putting together a softball team for whatever bar or social club or something, you're putting together a softball team for it. You're going around soliciting for people that actually want to go out and spend time together playing softball and then probably drinking beer afterward. Okay, so come and play softball and then go drink beer afterward. Don't say you're going to do it. You're taking up a spot that somebody else could have had.
if that sign up for beer league, man, you never know what you can get in a beer league. I love
Absolutely.
that.
I think in general, people tend to bite off more than they can chew. So, they get to overcommitting to things, or you think that something's awesome. You romanticize things. This is why, Trey, that a lot of people fail or don't succeed. All right. Failure is not always, I should say, lack of success does not always mean failure. Sometimes it's just an opportunity to regroup and figure out what you didn't do right and truck on from there. Right. For example, when I first went out on my own to be an insurance agent, I wasn't very good at it. I didn't know exactly how an insurance agent planned their day. I probably didn't take it seriously enough, but I didn't take it seriously enough partly because I didn't know how the hell it was supposed to work, right? It's one of those things that was kind of forced on me at the time. The company I was working for shut down their insurance division, so we found ourselves out on our ear. So what will happen is not only do you overcommit yourself, but then you're underskilled at that arena too. So to kind of segue into this, it's about figuring out where you went wrong and making steps to improve on that the next time and relaunching. But that's where your successful people are going to be successful. It's something I've heard professional athletes say all the time is the difference between them and the guys that always have those stories like, yeah, I blew out my knee when I was in high school, man, just to ruin my career. You go to some of these NFL guys, man, and they've blown out their knee 9 or 10 times. All right. And they've had those surgeries and they've had those off seasons in rehab every single year, man. It's absolutely nuts what some of these people go through just to be successful at their craft. And if you're not willing to, in your line of work, go through the equivalent of blowing out your knee and being in rehab every year, then maybe you're not cut out for it. You're not cut out for entrepreneurship, and that's okay. But what I would appreciate if people didn't do is sit back and hate on those people who have made those sacrifices and have figured out how to make it in life and live the American dream, and they've achieved a little bit more than we have.
That's the thing, man. You know what? The most successful people, not the most like on a high level, but if you're successful, you have been put down and told no more than anybody else that sits there and talks about a bad knee or they had a bad break. There are people that truly believe that these people just show up and this is what happens.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well,
it's instant. You're in. They don't realize all the work and everything that you have to put into that.
And going back to a word I used earlier, they romanticize about the eventual outcome of all their hard work, right? So they will sit and think about, and this is partly what I did the first time I ventured out on my own and I wasn't very successful. One thing I realized that I had done was I had already fast forwarded in my mind 5 years from now, success, enjoying myself, taking a little bit more time off, enjoying a long weekend. What I didn't do in the meantime was work 16-hour days, work Saturday and Sunday, work all hours of the night, work holidays. I didn't do all that stuff the first time I went out on my own, so I wasn't successful. All right. I didn't buy into a book of business or any of that. I just had to go out and try to start one policy at a time. And I didn't know it and I didn't take it seriously. I romanticized, fast forwarded in my mind to the end. And that was that.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
And that's what a lot of people do. So a lot of people have this, they're inspired by this music that says, I get knocked down, but I pick myself back up and I'm awesome and I'm tough and I've been through so much in my life and all that. They're into all this sassy music and everything, but they don't actually do what it takes to be a wild success. And if they just did apply themselves, they could be manager of that Taco Bell, or they could, you know what I mean? And then the world is your oyster from there. But if you don't aspire and if you don't work your tail off, you're not going to get there.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, man. You know, impossible's nothing. Just depends on what you want to put into it. Because I mean, me and you, we could be a lot more than what we are. I mean, you do wonderful things, but it doesn't mean that that's where you have to stop. You know,
Nope.
It takes a lot of hard work to get things done.
Yeah. You can get satisfied or you can be driven. It doesn't make any difference. I'm not going to judge you if you get satisfied and chill.
You got to get that drive. And on that note, man,
All right, man.
we're going to kill this beer and cut off a little 6 Dudes and a 6-pack. Hey, for Mr. Ryan O down in Mississippi right now, I'm Trey himself. Thanks for checking in to 6 Dudes and a 6-pack. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us.
6 dudes and a 6-pack. No pants required.